that's lovely. Sorry guys, broke my stand trying to slap it together real quick. Well, I guess we see if this is even going to work. I set my phone on it and it fell apart. Some things on Amazon are amazing. Other things just fall apart. So, I think we can make this work. But, that's where I'm at on the handle so far. A little eager with the epoxy, squeezed out, and I didn't do a very good job cleaning it up. But I'm attempting wood pins. So let's get this shaped up a little. It looks like you're the only one here, Wes. So I'm gonna do some on the side here, but along the metal here, I'm gonna use my Dremel for that. But I'm gonna do the wood on this guy. Ken McCall actually helped me figure this out. This was laying down horizontally, and I couldn't for the life of me find anything to stand it up. But I was talking with Ken last night, and he showed me how he stood his up, and it worked out. So I'm good to go. Okay. I didn't even have my mic plugged in. And that is walking, so I got to get a clamp on that real quick. I'm not making anything permanent yet because I've got so much that I have to clean up and move. But that'll fix that. Okay. Well, those bearings do not sound good. It was my roadside find. So I think I'm going to, now that I'm down to metal, hitting that blade all along there, I am done with the sander because I don't want to be throwing those sparks with all that dust. And those sparks are coming up pretty hot now that this is hard. But with the Dremel, I'm much more confident that they're going to be less of a problem. Okay. Let's see, there's a bigger one. Do I have a bigger one? Yeah, that's what I want to start with. And nice thing about this being reversible is I can switch this and blow the dust away from me. Maybe I can get you guys in here better. Well, and that's why you don't run these in reverse. I completely forgot about that, because it just unscrews everything for you. Oh, physics. Not used it enough. I've used it to do other things other than knife making, but that is what it was made for, so I'm definitely going to start rocking it. No excuses. I need to figure something out so I'm not blocking this. Will you sit right behind the holder? Or no, because my holder's broken. Let's see. Test my fix. Close, close. There we go. Sorry you guys got to see my ugly mug, but it's the best I can do for now. And that is starting to burn. I need a fresh one. And I'm just going to switch this whole holder out because it's not a very good holder. Here we go. Steve, how's it going? Thanks for coming in. There we go. This is some hardwood. Tell you what, this acacia, it's like 22 or 2300 on the Janka. I'm really bummed about this stand. John at Not Your Average Woodworker sent this to me as a gift. He ordered it up at Amazon, and it was really nice, but I put my phone on it and turned it and walked away, and I heard thump, and it was the clip that actually holds the phone just above where it bolts onto this. Just snapped right in half. No noise, no nothing. It kind of just fell off. So I'm pretty bummed about that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've had it for a couple months now, I think, and it seems like it's been fine. But yeah, maybe there was some like micro fractures in there I didn't notice. Oh, it's much better. I gotta plug my light back in. If you guys are using vintage stuff, I mean, it might be a good idea for new stuff too, but if you're using vintage stuff like I am, a good habit to get into is unplugging everything at night or having it on a switch that you can turn off. I would definitely not leave old electronics plugged in. Okay. Oh, look at that. I can see what I'm doing. Now maybe you guys can see what I'm doing. Hey. Maybe. I'm gonna have to put my fix to the test here. I'm really sorry about the camera stuff, guys. This is ridiculous. These are really loading up. Don, how's it going? Yeah, no, not a few days old. If you look back in my shorts, I did a mail call for it. That'll tell you how old it is. I did it the day I got it. Okay, guys, this is I'm going to step back over to I'm going to leave the camera right where it is. I'm going to step back over and just get some of this extra wood off the bottom. It's taking forever with that Dremel there. Okay. Just finish shaping this bottom up and we'll move on to the blade. What I'm doing right now is just trying to blend the radius from the side and the top and the back and the bottom all together so they don't look like a bunch of lines coming together. So to do that, I'm just running this a lot slower. To hopefully give it more of a polished look when it's done. So that's where we're at. The grain really starting to pop out on that side of the handle. Once we get some actual clean cuts across the back here of this paper and it doesn't burn, that'll show off on the back too. Now it's starting to show on the back. Shadows everywhere. Not a good setup for sure. So I think for now we'll move on to the handle, start getting that in shape. I should have done more of this work before I hardened the blade. But all that scratching, you can see how they're going all different directions. That's from using a cupped wire wheel to remove the scale from hardening this. I got it so hard the second time I actually formed a scale. Switch off to this guy. No idea where my other flap wheels are. So this one, hopefully, still has enough life in it. And I can tempt fate again and bring you guys down here. I've got to get this mess in order. This is not working out well trying to work in this place before I have it straightened out. I didn't realize I had all that epoxy on the blade on that side. Let's see. It's gonna pop off for me. And it is coming off clean. That's sweet. I tried waxing everything on this blade that I didn't want epoxy to stick to, and it actually worked out. I was very careful to only wax from here up. That way the epoxy would still stick underneath. And you can see the whole piece has popped right off. So let's get to it. This flap wheel is just horrible because it's so rounded out. So it's not good for what I am trying to use it for. And I don't know if I have any more. Oh, chaos. Everywhere there is something, just not what I need. Oh, I walked past it 3 times. Let's see if I have any of those left. Doesn't look like it. I do. Good, good, good. I am out of rubber wheels. Oh well. It's good, Ken. Josh, thanks for stopping in. What else we got in here? Dean and Don. Oh, some OG Twisted. That's a cool name. Well, it is definitely smooth, but it is ugly. I don't like the way it is finishing. These are the things you deal with when you're using the wrong tools for the job. So let's see. I can improve things with the file. I'm just keeping it flat to the blade. I'm not trying to remove a whole lot of stock. I just want to try to get everything going one direction. And unfortunately, I think I'm just enhancing the scratches that are deep. Alright, well, they can't all work out all the time. I wonder. Maybe it'll fit on here. Hands are not working the best today. Let's see if this stone was fine enough to clean this up instead of furthering the damage I'm doing. I'm just having one of them days, guys. There's my Chuck key. My goodness. Okay. Oh, there we go. 1 second, guys. I just got a message from Highback. Okay. Do you have a belt sander or a Westzone? I have both. I'm gonna have to do the spine last because that is shrinking my wheel quick, cutting on the spine. So we'll get these faces done first. sled. It was just a little wheel and not a burr. That would have been terrible. So I would definitely have to work on getting the scratches out beforehand next time. But for now, it is what it is. I'm just going to continue polishing it up, cleaning it up. And I guess I did clean up enough off the bottom there. Let's see that one spot where there's still a little tick in the metal. So I'll see if I'm lucky enough that I can work that out with the file. I'm going to see if I can knock it out on the belt sander real quick. I'll just throw it on the disc. Okay, all kinds of beautiful loud noises. You can see how white that is now. I'm gonna go over and burnish it with the rubber wheel and see if it blends in with the rest. Want that burn out of there. You can see with the Dremel, I worked that up kind of uneven, so I need to bring this side down some more. I'm glad I caught that before I finished this. So let's see. Yeah, I gotta take this corner here down. It's getting there. Looking better, still a little high. Well, I just had a brand new Scotch-Brite. There we go. Let's get rid of that Band-Aid. I ain't doing nothing but getting in the way. Kevin, welcome in. Luckily, I haven't put an edge on this yet, so dropping it isn't too bad. For the 9.4 for me. And I have some weird marks showing up. I'm going to knock those out on the belt sander. And then I'm going to start polishing the handle. I think I need to already look for another sander because those bearings do not sound too good. Okay, we'll open this guy up. My buffing wheels are a 1/4 inch shank. And just put a quick polish on here. And am I out of rouge? I'm just batting 1,000 today. Batting 1,000. Okay, that's not it. That's not it. Make better decisions than you guys. Okay, so to do the handle, I'm definitely going to use my little holder here and keep this from throwing it right at me. going to swap out to a smaller buffing wheel. Okay. These are just dry buffing wheels that I'm using. Don't have any kind of... This one's got whatever on it. Has been cleaning stuff off, all the crap. Brand new buffing wheel. Get rid of some of that gunk that's flying off of there. That's a lot of strings. It is like a hurricane of strings in my basement right now. There we go. Trip over something else, make a new mess. Kevin Ellis, how's it going? Antonio. So this is just a piece of candle. It is a beeswax candle. So I am going to, I think, attempt, well, I am now because I'm rubbing it on, but I'm going to attempt a friction polish with the beeswax on here while it's still a little warm from polishing it. I'm going to start rubbing this into here. You can feel a little bit of heat, not much, just enough to make this stick real well. Coming off with a knife from all that friction that already went into it. This candle is, I don't know if you can tell, but it's very soft. It's definitely beeswax. If you're not sure what your candles are made out of, if they are beeswax, they're going to let you know they're beeswax. You know, say all over it, 100% beeswax. And the ones that are not beeswax say something cool like made in Taiwan, caution, candles may catch fire. I mean, if your candles don't catch fire, take them back. They're bad candles. So we start off real low speed. I'm going to try to get some of this on here just to stop all of this from fraying off. See if I can keep that gathered up. See all the strings I gathered up off of there. I'm going to go low speed, just start melting it in at first. Get everything coated. I wanted to try this on the mallet that I made, but I was afraid that the wheel was going to take the bark off. So I burnished it and then just did the beeswax. I didn't want to take the buffing wheel to it. Skadooby, how you doing? Ray Triplet, welcome in. How you doing today, Scoo? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? I lost my knife. That's what I didn't want, is all these strings sticking to it. It could be worse. Okay. Let's see what we have here. Oh, it's out a little, so I got room to work. Oh, these darn strings stuck to it. So I'm going to heat it up and wipe it like immediately. There we go. Okay, so this is a horrible rag for this. I normally use a microfiber, but I am out of my disposable microfibers, and I didn't really want to load up the other ones with wax. Where, oh where are my other microfibers? Okay, we're not going to worry about that right now. I am heading back to you guys. I'm going to just use some shop rags. Oh, that's much better. Dang it. Do I have... I need a wheel that is not fibrous like this. I have a woven wheel. I do. Okay, problem fixed. This guy, I think, will take care of my string issue. Oh, much better. Except for this is so contaminated. Much better. Okay. Okay. That's where we're at. Those are wood pins. Just acacia. None of it but beeswax. And that makes for a grippy finish. It's not sticky. It's not slimy. It's just grippy. Jay, what's up, buddy? Thanks for stopping in. Siege. So no phone's right. Yeah, phone was pretty close. phone has already hit the deck today as I broke the phone holder that Not Your Average Woodworker sent me. So I'm pretty bummed about that. So the blade still needs some attention. I do not have any finer grits here to work with. So that will take a little bit of time. I mean, I can show you guys what a tiny little wire wheel will do to hardened steel. We'll put this tiny guy in there, all full of lint because it likes to grab everything it touches. You'll flatten that out a bit, and it's going to straighten out some when we start using it anyway. You guys can see the difference there, where I've just worked it with the wire wheel and where I haven't. Yes, that goes here. That's the side that I just did versus the other side. So after the wire wheel and before the wire wheel, you can see this is much more of a, not really a matte finish, but more of a satin finish. Put a little bit of a pattern on that so you can see where it's actually doing there. So that little L there, 7, whatever you guys are seeing, that is where I went over it with the wire wheel. Okay, well, that's where we're at. It needs an edge put on it. I'm not going to worry too much about a primary bevel, which is the first long angle, and then your secondary is your cutting edge. I'm not going to worry too much about a primary bevel because this is a very thin blade. So I think if I put the right cutting edge on here, there will be no need for a primary bevel, as that's just going to thin this blade out more and make it flexible, and it got much more rigid after after hardening it. So so far I'm liking the way this is turning out. The handle needs some more attention, needs some cleanup, and I'm going to have to now take some of this beeswax off. I got too much on here. You can see now how it's balling up on the end there. So that tells me I have plenty of wax on here, and now I just need to take some time with the rag, and the hard part here is just working it until it gets warm enough that the wax actually comes off on the rag and doesn't just smear around the wood. And I'm going to cheat and throw a little heat at it. I'm going to let it cool for just a second because I don't want to take all the wax off, but I do want it softened enough that I can, there we go, that I can do that with it. So now that is making a difference. It's starting to get a nice shine on it. We'll start working these side scales. Definitely not perfect, but I'm happy with it for my first attempt at a knife. That's why we don't sharpen them until we are done. It is a full tang, 2 pins, all epoxied together. It is I like that wood. It's acacia wood. This particular acacia is it's leftovers from a floor that I put in years ago. I say years ago. I believe it was 2023, and the wood is actually wood that has survived wildfires in Australia, the acacia wood. It's so hard, all the branches and everything burn off of it and just leave these big stumps. The big tree trunks are what's left. So that's what they cut down and use for lumber. A lot of things have changed. I shouldn't say for lumber, but for flooring. A lot of things have changed with the rainforest and all the natural woods and stuff like that. They're a lot more picky about where they get it. So I thought it was pretty cool that this wood is wood that has survived a fire. Because I have survived my own fires in life. Not literally, but you got what I'm saying. Me and this wood both been through some shit. So I think I'm going to take a break here and get myself some lunch. And when I come back, I will be in a much cleaner area. And I will be upstairs and I think throwing a edge on this thing. And we'll cut some paper. So in the meantime, I'm going to attempt to epoxy up my phone stand and get something to eat. So thanks everybody for stopping by. Kevin, thanks for coming in. Natalie, appreciate you. Let's see what else we got here. Skadoob, it's so cool. Very cool. We've seen some shit. Yeah, seen some shit, Scoo. And we're gonna see some more. It ain't over. So, guys, I appreciate you. You have a good one.